Hey everybody, since we're going to be at home for a while and I see that there's lots of things floating around on Facebook on how to work on math, science, social studies, all that kind of good stuff with your kiddos. A lot of them are websites that the kids can get on. I figured I would bring you some things that you could do around the house that are simple, easy, and also integrate some of your kids' favorite movies. So today I'm bringing you Cars. Now this is in no way affiliated with Disney, Pixar, any of that kind of stuff. I was just simply streaming through Disney Plus and saw it on there and thought, oh my goodness, I have some great ideas to use with this movie. Now I know this movie is a little bit older, but it still appeals to the masses. I'm sorry, it just does. So what you could do is not just watch the movie. There are tons of other things that you could do to build off of it that would incorporate gross motor movement. It would incorporate language, math. You could probably even fit in some science in there. Maybe if you have some older kids, you could fit in some social studies type things. But I'm going to give you some stuff today that you could use. Now, you don't have to use it all in one day. You could stretch it out over this next week that we know for sure we are going to be at home. And incorporate them throughout the week, and then maybe on Friday make that your movie day, and you kind of bring the whole week to culmination with the movie Cars or something else, another transportation type movie that your kids love. But we're mainly focusing on Cars because it's just super cute. So what you could do is we're going to start off with some snack ideas. Now you could have what we could call a stoplight lunch, which could incorporate things like crackers, pepperoni slices, cheese squares, because you've got your red and your yellow. You could pretend that the Ritz crackers are your steering wheels. You could do different things like that. You could also have maybe a stoplight snack, which could be some red apples, some green apples, and maybe some pineapple or bananas, and have those set out for the kiddos. See which kids that you have like the red apples versus the green apples. You can kind of do some compare and contrast there. Talk about why they like the red apple over the green apple or vice versa. See, you're getting in all this language stuff that you didn't realize you were getting in. It's awesome. So that's one way to start your week out, is have the Cars lunch, stoplight lunch, whatever you want to call it, and a stoplight snack, which would be the red, green, and yellow stuff that you could have. You could also actually make a stoplight with a graham cracker. I've actually made these long time ago when I used to work in the schools and we could get away with sneaking in a little bit of food here and there. We would take just one piece of a graham cracker, not the whole sheet, just one piece. And each kiddo, I think by the time you break it down, maybe it breaks into 4s or 6s, I can't remember. But you cover that in white icing, and then they can use red, green, and yellow M&Ms to make a stoplight. Super easy to do. Most of us have some sort of M&M laying around the house. Obviously, I do. So, I like this one because you can talk about what's on the top, what's on the bottom, what's in the middle. When you start out, you can go, okay, how are we going to make these M&Ms stick? That's always my favorite thing when I start any craft. How are we going to start this? Because kiddos don't ever think about the process. They think about the finished product. And so talk your kids through that part of it. And then, like I said, talk about the red goes on the top, the yellow goes in the middle, the green goes on the bottom, that kind of thing. Then you can eat it. If you're looking for something a little more simple, have truck tires for snack. Yes, Oreos. There's your truck tires, or your car tires, for snack. So there's the food part of it, because I'm sorry, that's one of the most important parts of it. To me, anyways, is the sugar and the sweets and the fun stuff that you can do with the food. Another thing you can do is pick a book. Any transportation book you have in your house. One of my favorite ones that I use during Road Transportation Week in June is called If I Built a Car. Now, this one may not be really great for preschool. Attention span may lack, but I've used it with preschoolers before and they really enjoy it. And it's basically about a little boy whose imagination just literally runs wild, and he designs a car and puts everything he can think of that he wants in this car. And so it's not necessarily about a race car like in Lightning McQueen, like in Cars, but it still fits in with our theme there. And so this one is a really great one. This is one that would be really great if you have slightly older elementary kids, maybe 3rd, 4th, 5th, especially boys. And after you read this, they give them the opportunity to design their own car. And that would be a lot of fun. Get out the rulers so that they have straight edges. If you have one of those, what is it? The protractor or the compass, that I can't remember because I haven't used one of those in so long, to where they make the perfect circles if they want to. Let them design their car, plus they're using all of their math tools that they're having to use, if kids even use those anymore. Now that I think of it, who knows? So there is your literary component of all of this. Now, let's get to the gross motor part of this. If you have some paper plates laying around the house, and I have some, but they're up in a cabinet, so I'm not going to get them out right now. Get the kids outside. Outside. There's nothing that says you cannot go outside in your front yard or your backyard and run, walk, jog, whatever. So get out the paper plates. Those are your steering wheels. Okay, so tell the kids that they are going to do an obstacle course as a car. And so they can go around the tree. They can go maybe over, a paver, over a paving path that you have. Maybe they have to go under a chair, things like that. They can drive themselves. They are the car, so they can drive themselves around in your yard. Tell them to go fast. Tell them to go slow. Tell them to get behind. If you have multiple kiddos, tell them, hey, Charlie, get behind Susie. Or Susie, get ahead of Jason. Things like that. Or get in front of Jason. Then you're working on those position words that you don't always get a chance to use, but the kiddos need to know what they mean. So you're giving them that actual hands-on, get in front, get behind. They're getting all of that. Plus they're getting it in a fun way because they're, number one, breathing fresh air. Number two, they're pretending they're a car. And number three, they are playing outside. That's the best part. Okay? So that is your gross motor activity for this whole theme, Cars theme, weekday, however you want to do it. It's up to you on that part. Another one that you could do, which would be an inside activity, since we here in Texas are supposed to be getting some rain throughout the week, is you can play stoplight and car tires. And that is actually checkers. If you think about it, they're red and black. Red for the stoplight, black for the tires. So teach your kids how to play checkers. This is a great problem-solving game. Awesome. Gets the kids' minds working. They're having to figure out where they can move without getting jumped. It tackles a whole nother set of things that they wouldn't get at school. So checkers is a good one to play. And like I said, you can call it stoplight and truck tire or car tires, however you want to do it. Have fun with that. So we've addressed the food part, snacks. We've addressed gross motor, which was getting outside and pretending you're a car with the steering wheel. We've addressed an indoor activity that would work on problem solving. Another thing you can do is you can do crafts. You can take that paper plate that we just used as a steering wheel, and you can cut it to where it's in the shape of a car and let the kids paint. Color, use markers, water paints, whatever you have at home, let them use. Even if you just have pieces of construction paper, I love to rip pieces of construction paper and let the kids go to town that way. Then you can just make your big black circles for your tires, and boom, you have a cool race car that the kids have just built. And they will be ecstatic. So now comes the part where you actually watch the movie. So this is where you can have your snacks if you want to. If you want to incorporate some other things in there, you can most certainly do that. These are just things to kind of give you some ideas to get you going. Throughout the week, if you're going to stretch this out into the week, get out those Hot Wheel cars. I don't know how many kids play with those anymore, but get out some Hot Wheels cars and work on, they can categorize them according to color. They can categorize them according to if they're, a truck or a car. You can take duct tape, or probably not duct tape, probably more masking tape, and make roads down your hallway, if anywhere you have a hard surface, to where the kids can actually build their own little city. Obviously, you're going to have to pull it up at the end of the day, or you're going to have to put it somewhere where you're not traveling. There's not a lot of foot traffic in your house. But those are things that are really great for the kids to just go with their imagination and have a good time with it. You can also work on, okay, we have 3 cars. How many wheels do we have total? And work in your math that way. If we have 4 cars, how many wheels do we have total? Okay, I need 20 wheels. So how many cars do I need to make 20 wheels? Different things like that are great things to work on. Multiples of 4, if you have some that are working on, the simple multiplication facts. That will kind of get a little bit different way of thinking in their head, because rightfully every car that they should have 4 wheels, unless they're a little rough on their cars. You can also get on those hard surfaces, and you and your child can race cars. Talk about whose car was the fastest, whose car was the slowest, whose car went the farthest, whose car, stayed closer to home, I guess, if you want to say it that way. So you're talking about all those different words that you're not going to use on an everyday basis. And that is what we're doing here. We're building vocabulary. We're building language. We are using the time that we have been given to make the most of it. And the thing that I'm loving about all of this is you're having to spend time at home with the kids, keeping them busy, doing stuff, because we also live in a world where technology is driving everything. And if you've noticed, I haven't mentioned a website for you to go use and do any of these things. These are all hands-on things that you can do with your kiddos based on one movie, Cars. And you don't necessarily have to use just Cars. You could use Cars 2. You could use any truck car movie you wanted to use. If, there's a bunch of stuff out there now that I don't know about because my kids are older. Cars was one that I absolutely loved when my son was growing up, and I thought it was a cute movie. It's brightly colored. There's still a storyline to it so that you can ask questions throughout the story. I do like those kinds of movies where at the end of it, you've basically read a book, and you can ask questions about it. You can talk about the movie. What was your favorite part? What part did you not like the most? Those kinds of things. This is all you have to do. Super easy, because most of us now have Disney Plus in the home, especially if we have little kids. I don't even have little kids, and I have Disney Plus in the home. So, again, this is not an ad for Disney Plus. I'm just sharing where you could possibly get the movie. We also have the movie on Blu-ray or DVD. I'm not sure which one. So that's how old we are around here, is we still have those. So that is what I am bringing you today for getting the kids out and keeping them busy and keeping them happy and that sort of thing. This was my first video, so I'm not totally for sure if I've messed it up too bad. But I wanted to share that stuff with you. I will be bringing you one hopefully every day this week based on some sort of fun movie that the kids really enjoy. And so I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all again tomorrow. Bye.